Now, with that, what I'd like to do is introduce Ted Kummert. Ted is the Senior Vice President responsible for SQL Server. Ted actually now has a bit broader responsibility. He's responsible for our overall business platforms division, which means the business applications, application server, the whole infrastructure around that. And Ted has done a fantastic job of driving SQL forward with the SQL Server 2008 release, and he has a fantastic roadmap and very much a team in place and an execution ability to drive forward with the releases that are coming next year and into the future. He's the man that's making it happen for all of you, and it's great to have him here today. Welcome, Ted Kummert.
Well, thank you. Well, good morning, and welcome to the PASS Community Summit of 2009. It's great to be here with you today. I know we're all looking forward to a great week. I was reflecting this morning on my past experiences at PASS. It was 3 years ago. We were gathered here in Seattle, and I stepped onto the stage briefly to say hello as my predecessor, Paul Flessner, said goodbye. And Paul took us through a discussion of storage innovation, hardware innovation, growing data volumes, and talked a lot about how we would tackle the data management challenges that were ahead of us. It was 2 years ago we all gathered together in Denver, and this was an incredibly exciting time for us. This was really SQL Server 2008's coming out party. We came here to talk to the family, to tell first to you what we were going to deliver in SQL Server 2008. Those were incredibly exciting times. This past year, we gathered in Seattle. And it was a great time. We had shipped SQL Server 2008 a few months prior, which was a great thing. We followed through on our commitment to release that version of SQL Server within 24 to 36 months of SQL Server 2005, which was great for me because it meant I got to come back and talk to you again. And, and we spent a lot of our discussion then looking forward. We talked about business intelligence and where we were headed in delivering managed self-service business intelligence. We talked about manageability and how we were moving forward to deliver new capabilities and features for application and multi-server management. We talked about data warehousing. We were just a couple months post the close of the acquisition of Datalegro. And we talked about how we would bring scale-out data warehousing to the market. And we talked about our directions in the cloud, and how we would be moving forward to deliver SQL Server capabilities in the form of cloud services. And so we're back here together again in Seattle, and it's all right here in front of us. In the next 6 to 9 months, all of the things we talked about last year will release. Live today, in a feature-complete customer technology preview, is the first relational database service in the cloud in SQL Azure. And we'll begin billing for that service after the first of the year. We will release SQL Server 2008 R2 in the first half of next calendar year. In it, we'll deliver managed self-service business intelligence with Office 2010. We'll deliver the new manageability capabilities in application and multi-server management. And we have new workloads such as Stream Insight for complex event processing, master data services for master data management. This is rounding out to be a very, very significant release for us. And we've made a lot of progress since last year on scale-out data warehousing, and we'll be bringing those capabilities to market in the first half of calendar year 2010. It's going to be a very exciting year for us. So in our time together today, we want to focus on this next year's of releases. I'm going to spend some time talking, and then we'll have some demos as we go. We'll let the code speak. So let's get going. So to start, it is great to be at PASS. So I thought I'd start with my own top 5 list of reasons that it's great to be at PASS. Reason number 1, whether it's the old economy or the new economy, PASS continues to thrive and grow. We've seen explosive growth in membership and chapters around the world. And we have over 2,000 registered participants for the summit this week. We get so much value in the SQL Server team out of this community. whether it's what this community does to educate all SQL Server users, or in the feedback we get from you that helps shape the future directions of where SQL Server is headed. Reason number 2, I usually make a joke about how coming to Seattle is so you can experience our fabulous fall weather, and in fact, it's a pretty nice day outside. But the reason it's great to be in Seattle is because it's very easy for us to get a lot of the product development team here to interact with you. So I'd like to pause and ask everyone in the SQL Server product team to stand up. If you look around, you should see a bunch of If you look around, you should see people wearing brown shirts. You'll see the SQL Cat team, the usual outliers, in their lime green shirts. And they'll be wearing those shirts throughout the conference. And that's to make it easy to find them and interact with them. Yes, we want to do that in context of the sessions and the hands-on labs, but we want to do that at every opportunity. We want to hear your hard questions. We want to hear your feedback. We want to interact with you. And as we did last year, we're making that fun. So they've got some SQL Server bucks that they'll hand out for every question you ask, and there will be some prizes at the end of the show. But that's all about making the interaction we want to have to you fun. So there's this other database company down south. And a few weeks ago, they had their conference. I think they call it Open World, which frankly may be the most ironic name. Perhaps almost as ironic as Unbreakable. But I digress. I think I saw on the news, though, as the news reports were coming across, I thought I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger actually on stage with Larry Ellison. So then I was thinking ahead and thinking, well, gosh, what are we going to do? Who are we going to get? And then I said, hey, we don't need anybody like that, because we got these guys. We've got Wayne, and we've got Rashab. For those that don't remember, the picture of Wayne up there is from his entrance last year. I believe he set a high bar for how SQL past presidents come on stage. And Rashab followed him, not on a Harley, but on a Vespa. And I love the picture below. This is actually where Rashab filled in for Donald Farmer in a keynote in Europe. We love the hair. So we're very happy to be working with Rain and have worked with him in his past year, and now working with Rashab as he comes into the president role. I'm very thankful that they also have a sense of humor. I did preview this with Wayne last weekend, and I recall the mail. He said, that's great, but Ted, you should remember what goes around comes around. So I'm looking forward to next year already. But seriously, PASS is an organization, that is run by the community for the benefit of the community. We truly appreciate all the volunteers and employees of PASS do to run this organization and to make this community summit happen. So I want to pause just to thank everyone involved with PASS who makes this stuff happen. Thank you. So we're going to work hard this week, attending lots of sessions, learning a lot about SQL Server, learning a lot about where we're headed, but we're also going to play hard. And PASS and Microsoft came together to rent out GameWorks for Wednesday night. We're going to have games, there's going to be refreshments, there's going to be food, we're going to hand out some awards. I'm going to be there. I'm looking forward to spending time with all of you. Should be a great time. And number 5, SQL Server is a great thing to be a part of. I've been fortunate to work in many areas of Microsoft over my just over 20 years there. And I have to say this chapter of my career in working on SQL Server is one of my favorite chapters. It's great to be a part of something that's so successful. Now, we always want to start by saying that success only comes when you've been successful. And we're not successful alone. We're successful because of the work our hardware partners do, because of what our ISV partners do in offering solutions, because of what our system integrator partners do. We're successful when all of that comes together and makes you successful in your jobs every day. SQL Server is the unit leader in the database market worldwide. SQL Server is the fastest growing relational database management system in the world. We've seen great industry recognition in the past year. We're in the leaders wave from Forrester for relational database management systems and data warehousing. And we're in the magic quadrants for Gartner for data warehousing and business intelligence. We've seen great adoption of SQL Server 2008 since it released last year, with over 6 million downloads of the software to date. And we have over 30,000 solutions supported on SQL Server 2008 today. SQL Server is just a great thing to be a part of. So now we're going to shift our discussion forward. The information platform vision frames how we think about our investments going forward. It was about 5 years ago we rolled out our data platform vision. The data platform vision talked about us building the platform for all data. We think about all data in terms of all types and shapes of data. We think about a platform that runs across all tiers, from the edge to the data center to the cloud. And we think about the full life cycle of data from birth through to archive. We've made a lot of progress on that vision, and that vision still continues to guide us, but it's also clear that it needs to evolve. One important shift is moving from talking about data, but to talk about information. And this reflects that you want a platform that not only stores all of your data, but helps you get value out of your data in the applications you use every day and in gaining business insight. The other important shift is to put the people, the users of SQL Server, more at the center of this vision. The IT professionals, the database professionals, the developers, the BI practitioners, and all the end users who are trying to gain business insight. They're at the center of what we need to do in this product. The information platform vision comes together as 4 pillars. It starts with the foundation of a mission-critical platform. You run your business on the solutions you build around SQL Server and Windows Server. It needs to perform to the highest levels in terms of reliability, scalability, security, and performance. Next, we need to empower IT with the tools to make them more efficient, to automate the routine so they can focus on adding more business value. I was reading recently a study of annual IT spending. And this study estimated that about 60% of IT's expense goes into just running the business, leaving only about 40% focusing on adding new business value. This is something that we can all work together to improve. It's about delivering capabilities for developers to make them more productive. We think about productivity in terms of time to solution and richness of solution. And it's about delivering pervasive insight, enabling all users to be able to get their questions answered out of the data that's in their environment, and to do so within the tools they use every day, from Microsoft Office to the business applications they use to get their job done. The information platform vision is powered by SQL Server and now SQL Azure as we enter the cloud. So now we're going to talk through the next year of releases, and we're going to go through that one pillar at a time. It starts by building on a solid foundation. Everything we're talking about builds on top of SQL Server 2008. That's a statement technically about the code. That's also a statement about the engineering processes. By almost every measure, SQL Server 2008 is the highest quality release of SQL Server ever. I was looking recently at the statistics for the Service Pack 1 we delivered this past April. And there were an order of magnitude less fixes in that service pack than for SQL Server 2005 SP1. It's also about making those updates easy to consume. So we've invested in the serviceability. So with Service Pack 1, we enabled slipstream install the server and the service pack in one shot. And also, in what we believe may be the most asked for feature since SQL 6.5, we've now enabled standalone service pack uninstall. It starts with a quality foundation that needs to be a secure foundation as well. We're vigilant and gratified that we continue to have a strong track record in terms of critical vulnerabilities, especially compared to our enterprise competitors. And SQL Server 2008